Good morning, VC. The Zonkman coming at you once again to do a little video action. I'm going to share. Basically, this is another vinyl grocery list. So I'm going to show some stuff that I'm done checking off of the vinyl grocery list. Right here, I've talked about this before. If this is your first time watching, I actually have a clipboard of music written down. Now you say, hey, why don't you use Discogs? The Zonkman is logged into Discogs, and that's just so I don't get duplicates. It's not like I have a whole lot and get confused, but just in case I don't get duplicates. Zonkman has a very modest vinyl collection, but I use the clipboard for stuff I'm looking for. And I don't want to mess with the phone and the want list and all that stuff when I'm crate digging. In fact, I'd rather look like an idiot and carry that clipboard around. I've showed in the past before where people at the music store have confused me with somebody who works there and usually ask for help. So that's pretty much normal. There's not any really significant stories to tell other than the Zonk Man will help you try to find what you're looking for. Um, so, yeah, we're knocking that out. Vinyl grocery list, and this is number three. The Zonk Man is still trying to get comfortable at the new place, the new music room. I'm excited about the music room, but I'm not comfortable. I haven't figured out where I want to shoot from. This is probably the fourth different angle that you've seen. You can comment below, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, whether you care or not. I probably shouldn't ramble on too long. I do have to go to work, and this is actually quite a stack of vinyl. Um, of course, some of it is actually going to the local record store. I got some stuff from Chris Has the Spins. Hopefully, all of you are out there are familiar with the channel Chris Has the Spins. He recently showed, uh, getting a record collection from somebody, and he offered stuff up out to other people in the vinyl community. And I've seen some other videos for stuff that they've gotten from Chris. So I've got some of that to show. Awesome. And then I got to go to Noble Records last pop up of the year. Of course, we're talking about Dylan at Noble Records. He's getting ready to open a store, so he's 100% focused on that. Best of luck to Dylan at Noble Records, but I got to go to that pop up, so I get to show some of the stuff I got from there and maybe talk about it in kind of Zonkman esque stoner rock, desert rock, doom metal kind of vibe. But anyway, I need to probably go ahead and get started. We're just no crazy order here. No, and the music is kind of all over the place. Not really, but we're going to start out with Iron Horse. And this is Randy Bachman. And you're talking about, hey, who's Randy Bachman? I was kind of like that way. I was like, that name sounds familiar, but I just don't. And that is, of course, from the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive. This is a 1979 release. This is just kind of straight up rock, nothing crazy. Very cool cover, though, with the horse and the melted metal there. All right, on to the next. I need to keep this quick. All right, we're throwing some jazz out there. The Zonkman's kind of new into jazz. I won't lie. Mrs. Zonkman is the one that has listened to jazz, and I've kind of I'll listen. There's great jazz. It's a great genre of music to listen to. So it doesn't all have to be metal. But this is Kevin Eubanks, Face to Face. This is a 1986 release, so some of you jazz fanatics out here in the VC are probably, there's nothing great that came from the 80s, but I do like listening to the 80s jazz. And of course, if you're not familiar with Kevin Eubanks, of course, The Tonight Show on the Jay Leno years. So he was the kind of co host music guy. Um, So, watched a lot of Jay Leno Tonight Show, so I was familiar with Kevin Eubanks. This particular album, some of you also probably won't care for. Some of you analog, uh, diehardists, or whatever you want to call audiophiles, because this is digitally mastered. And then, of course, for the compact discs that were happening then, and put on vinyl. Sorry for the glare there. I'm trying to keep the glare out. But anyway, it's a good record. It says it's kind of funk jazz. I don't know. Like I said, I'm new into jazz, so all right. To keep going with different stuff, this is the Guru. Kind of a soundtrack. This is some 60s. It does say original soundtrack recording. 60s movie, The Guru. Um, of course, you're probably like, why is Zonkman showing this? Man, I really do want some Ravi Shankar playing the sitar. And this is some sitar music, but it is not Ravi Shankar. It is, and I'm going to murder this just for y'all out there, Ustad Vilayat Khan. And he's playing the sitar for the Guru. I think this was a 68 or 69 movie. And this kind of goes along the realms of the zonk, man. I don't know why I've been doing this wave thing with my hands. If I'm talking, I got to move my hands. I do too much bouncing too. Anyway, guru. If you're not familiar with what a guru is, a guru is you. Yes, you, vinyl community. Guru. You are the guru. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, and then we're going to keep getting weird. This is actually the Zonk Man's first Mothers of Invention Frank Zappa album. Of course, we're only in it for the money. I'm going to show this gatefold. This is like an early press, but it is a little beat. Guy at the record store even says it's a good filler copy till something better comes along. You guys are all familiar with Zappa, or at least know of it, Mothers of Invention. And of course, I didn't show that. That's supposed to kind of mimic the Beatles Sergeant Pepper's album cover there, but y'all are all familiar with that. Definitely out there, a little Frank Zappa. The Zonk Man's trying to get into some Frank Zappa. And then to like flip going back to the 80s again, uh, found this a little Van Halen 5150 or Van Hagar, whatever you prefer. This is a great, great record, man. In fact, I forget the songs on here. There is one I wanted to speak of, and I cannot remember the name of it. Love Walks In. Yes, you guys are familiar with a lot of this stuff here. It was popular stuff. Best of both worlds. Why can't this be love? Good enough, stuff like that. But Love Walks In. If you're not real familiar with that, you need to pay attention to the lyrics on Love Walks In, man. Uh, Kind of get you in the vibe there with the guru and everything. And his Zonk Man's kind of traveling down. And then we're going to get into a new record here. Of course, the Zonk Man talks about liking stoner rock and doom metal, and then man, that dude hardly ever shows any. What is his deal? Well, I'm going to show a little Electric Wizard, Wizard Bloody Wizard. This is a 2017 release, and you can tell by the cover what their influences are. In fact, they wear their influences on their sleeve. Of course, Black Sabbath, and just really cool kind of doom. Um, Liz Buckingham is awesome on the guitar. I mean, she's what really has really revived the Electric Wizard career, and I don't even know what album she started playing with them in. But this was another one of those the Zonk Man didn't know anything about, and I'm having to go back into like a backlog and find some Electric Wizard. So if you're into the doom metal, this is a 2017 release, and I'm showing this thing again. I got to show the poster. The poster for this thing is awesome, and hopefully I'm not too close. Um, so let's make sure I grab it from the right way here. There's a whole lot of glare. That's a whole lot better than just cheesecake. Yeah, I'm just lost for words. That's why I'm stuttering or whatever. You've got a Harley there, some chains, and yeah, just some S&M getting ready to happen there. But it's Electric Wizard, cool poster for that. All right, we'll transition to Chris Has the Spins. Um, awesome dude. You need to check out his channel. Up in Green Bay, Cheesehead. I didn't even talk to him about the Packers, so I don't know if he's a Cheesehead or not. But anyway, we won't get off on any kind of sports talk. We're talking music. So yes, I we worked out a deal to get a couple of records, and he sent some awesome stuff my way. And then of course he threw in some VCLT, kind of like under the radar there, which was absolutely cool. So we're gonna start off Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Don't have to say much about this. You guys are familiar. Ronnie James Dio era Sabbath. The world is full of kings and queens who blind your eyes, then steal your dreams. It's heaven and hell. Good stuff, man. Whatever the songs, man. This is a good album as a whole. This thing is near mint. The only thing that Chris complained about was saying that the dude smoked. So some of the stuff, it had a smoky smell. And before when I got them, I was like, yeah, you can smell that. But I've cleaned the cover up, and you can see they're nice and glossy. These things cleaned up great. And Chris, dude, I appreciate it. Even the smoke smell is very minimal at this time, man. You got to really like take in a deep breath to get a whiff. Uh, and the Zonkman's going around smelling records. Yeah, I like to smell the new records, the new material that like the posters printed on, stuff like that. So yeah, we're sniffing records on the Zonkman's channel here on YouTube. So some Black Sabbath, of course. And to stick along those lines, in the 80s, Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin. Another near mint copy, same deal. Awesome record. You guys are all familiar with is like, oh, why is this dude showing Ozzy? This actually has very cool artwork on it. And a lot of people don't really care for this album as much, but maybe because, I don't know, because this is what I was listening to young. I really dig this. Lightning Strikes, Killer of Giants, of course, Shot in the Dark and Ultimate Sin. Those were kind of hits. But even like Thank God for the Bomb, this is a great record, and to have uh, near mint copy is awesome. The parts where it gets really low, where you normally hear your crackles and pops, this is a very quiet record. Awesome copy of this. Stoked to have that. And then of course Chris, I'm not going to read his letter on there. Hopefully he's not mad because I didn't read his letter, but he sent a very cool letter. Uh, hope Hopefully me and Mrs. Zonkman get the records well. So he throws some stuff in, little Steppenwolf for ladies only. Now I'm a Steppenwolf fan. I've got Steppenwolf 2. I'm familiar with, of course, all the hits: Born to Be Wild, The Pusher, Magic Carpet Ride, stuff like that. Cool stuff. Excuse me. Not familiar with this album at all. Didn't know if there was a hit, and maybe because it was for ladies only, and I'm going to show it. Yes, this is not Cheesecake. That is the Dickmobile. And it says down here who the guy built by Stephen Hastings Page. So, yeah, Went from showing a cool poster to showing the Dick Mobile on here. But this is what Chris said. Dude, I appreciate it. It is still awesome. Love some Steppenwolf. Another thing he sent that was real cool. This comp, Heavy Hands. This the British blues stuff is on here. Um, 8 vinyl low. I think she would dig that. She would definitely dig this. It's got the Yardbirds with Jeff Beck, Johnny Winter, PG and E, Taj Mahal, Santana, Spirit. There's a lot of good stuff on this. Fleetwood Mac, and I'm assuming this is a Peter Green Fleetwood Mac on here. This is a 1970, and this is the radio station promo or whatever. Very cool, man. Thank you. I have gave this I have given this a spin. Cool British blues rock. All right, now we're getting into the Noble Records dig, the last pop up of the year, we'll say. Um, Dylan, awesome dude. I would call that a, VC meetup. Even though I'm going to buy records from him, it's still a VC meetup. It was great to meet Dylan. Um, it was just awesome. You know, I appreciate it. You know, he probably gets a lot of people in around the area that are from the VC. I had missed local bandography, and I forget your name actually, um, but I just missed him. In fact, going down to Charlotte, I won't talk about the road trip or whatever too much, but there were some things kind of running the Zonkman behind, so I didn't get there right at noon when he opened the doors and let everybody in. Because even on Chris's letter, Chris has the spins. He's like, "Oh man, that was cool. It wasn't like you were bumping elbows with everybody at Dylan's pop up." And I was like, "Well, actually, if you didn't get there till about 2 o'clock, most of the madness was gone. There's still some great stuff to be had, and I'll show that. But I was not there right at noon, and I just went down to basically support Dylan and him opening a record store. Didn't have a whole lot of money to throw his way. It wasn't like I was going to get some of his rare bootlegs that he was pulling out of his personal collection to sell for triple digits or whatever, you know. That is not what I was there for, just to kind of help support, meet Dylan. Great stuff. I'll start off, and the Zonk Man is going to go off in his stoner rock realm. Um, Styx, Equinox, kind of real common record. Uh, Lorelei, I think, is the hit. Well, this is what Mrs. Zonkman got. She was sitting on the couch, and some guy was going through records that he was having to choose from and put back, and he was going to put this back, so it was, of course, reasonably priced. All really everything Dylan has is reasonably priced. Um, but so Mrs. Onkman got this. And Equinox, man, this is kind of Earth esque. And here we go with the waves, man. Moon turns the tide. So a little sticks there to start off with from Dylan's pop up. Then this is something that was on the list 10 years after Cricklewood Green. Uh, you know, blues rock, 50,000 miles beneath the brain, beneath my brain. Yes, that is where you go on this record. Maybe not huge psychedelic, more like a blues rock record. It is a gatefold with some cool artwork there. Show the back. Uh, cool guy. It's got a little something there. No big deal. Plays great, actually. Um, can't say enough about that. 10 years after, 50,000 miles beneath my brain. That's where the Zonkman's going at the end of this, man. Boom, here we go. Iron Butterfly, heavy. It was weird because I had just said to someone, we were talking about Inagata Devita, and I was like, yeah, heavy, I need to check that out. Not real familiar with all of the Iron Butterfly stuff, even the earlier stuff. This was a 2014 Black Friday record store day release in mono, and it was still sealed at Dylan's Pop Up for a great price. So, yes, you could probably get a copy of this for a little bit cheaper, but to know that it's sealed, mint, and even the recording. Well, I gotta look back at some notes over here. The lacquers were cut at Bernie Grunman Mastering. So for you audiophiles out here, and this is in mono, if I had some better equipment, I would really get to experience some psychedelia from Iron Butterfly. Heavy. All right, where are we going here? Vangelis, man. Uh, Basically anything that I don't have of Vangelis, it doesn't matter if it's vinyl or CD, I will pick it up. Didn't have this. This is a 1976 released album. Albedo 0.39. I don't really know what that is, but it tells you back here. Albedo, if I'm even saying that correctly. I like murdering that stuff. The reflecting power of a planet or other non luminous body. A perfect reflector would have an albedo of 100%. The Earth's albedo is 39%, hence 0.39. Yeah, man, we're more in the earthly realm. And if you were familiar with Vangelis, you will recognize Polestar, which is the first track off of this. Um, of course, if you are not familiar, Chariots of Fire, Blade Runner, he did all this music for all these soundtracks. 1492, man, I can't even think of. He had a release in 2016 called Rosetta that was very much space oriented around missions. I don't know if it's just missions to Mars or just sending some stuff way out in space. Always listen to some Vangelis. This is some very, very good stuff right here, man. And I appreciate Odd Box Toppers. Great about the VC is they can turn you on to new music. I was not familiar with that. Even though I knew Chariots of Fire soundtrack, I was not familiar with Vangelis as an artist. Gotten into that. All right, we'll show some more stuff here. Neil Young and Promise of the Real. 2018 release, The Visitor. This thing is, of course, near mint. Great release. This was, of course, reasonably priced. I forget at the record store it might be $30. It might be like $29, $30 because it's two LPs. It's actually just three sides. The fourth side of the second side of the second LP is just micro etched, so it's barely enough material to throw two vinyls out there. Neil Young, don't have to say too much about this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this newer album. He's already coming out with another one here next month, Colorado. But anyway, not to get too political, but he's got a song on here called Already Great. And of course, Neil Young does take a political stance with a lot of things. And this is a 2018 album, so you can probably put two and two together on who that's directed towards. I will show sorry, I've not shown it as a gatefold, and it shows Neil with the Promise and the Real. Cool album, cool album. Great to get it from Dylan, man. We're still on that trip, man. We're getting deeper and deeper on the trip. Funkadelic. Standing on the verge of getting it on. Funkadelic is on the Zonkman's vinyl grocery list. So I got to check this off. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it. This is, we'll go ahead and talk about it's a 1974 album. This pressing is West German, 1991, like near mint condition and way reasonably priced. Have I have already said that? about Dylan's records as pop up. I wish I would get to go to the grand opening of his store on October 5th, but sorry, Dylan, I got to work that weekend. I'm not going to make it. So anyway, back to Funkadelic. Um, this is digital metal mastered. So again, you audiophiles might be shunning me because, oh man, you're listening to that digital sourced on vinyl record, but it does sound great. Same thing, man. This record is so clean. When it gets to some of the quiet parts, there is no crackles and pops. It plays awesome. The song I want to talk about on here is Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts. Man, what's some Funkadelic stuff, man? Free your mind and your ass will follow, man. That is the way the song kind of goes. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. It's really like in that esoteric vein, and they're talking about it in 1974, man. Yes, opening up your mind, man. Awaken to who you truly are. Yes, VC, you have the capability to awaken to who you truly are. Right now, we're going to do it with a little mind melting funkadelic. Great to talk about that. All right. Finally, we've got to the last record here, and we've gone way long. Here we are Linkin Park, One More Light. And that is exactly what this record is. It was One More Light of Chester Bennington. Of course, everybody knows that story, him taking his life. I'm not going to really go into that too much. Um, even though the energy that was Chester Bennington has been, or the light has been extinguished, we still get to experience it through his music, man. But he was, I think he was on the verge, man. You can just listen to the song titles. Nobody Can Save Me, Good Goodbye, um, Heavy. Man, there's that word again, heavy. Is there something wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull in the future? Sorry. The Zonkman's easily distracted. But anyway, Heavy's a good song about letting it go. One More Light, Invisible. This dude already knew. But thank you for this record, Chester and Linkin Park, Mike Shinoda, all those guys. Mike Shinoda's got a solo album that's on the Zonkman's vinyl grocery list. But thank you, Chester, to this album, One More Light. And thank you to Dylan at Noble Records for being the pathway in the universe to all this great music and great message that is behind it, man. So, the VC, man, shine your light out there, be who you are. It's like, whoa, the Zonk man, he's really going out on this trip. What is he even talking about? Yeah, man. Well, all I can say is it's your fault for listening. You've just entered Zonk World.